Hey guys, welcome back to Just a Geek in the Garage. Today I want to talk about another DURATECH product. I've kind of been hit and miss with DURATECH lately. I really like their wrenches. I've talked before. I have their ratcheting wrenches, thin wrenches, stubby wrenches, things like that, and all of those have always treated me pretty well. But I've been buying some other tools from them, and again, been hit or miss. So just want to kind of go over this guy. Spoiler alert: it's almost a recommend from me, but there's a couple things about it that really bother me. Which I'm almost debating returning this. And DuraTech, if you're watching, hopefully you kind of take some notes from this, and along with the notes from your guys' feedback on this one. Now, first of all, the feedback on this guy is great. It's about 4.7 out of 5, but I wish I would have kind of gone more into depth on the feedback before I purchased it. And let me kind of go over it and tell you why. So, first of all, I've always liked these kind of silicone trays. The ones I've used in the past are going to be these US General ones. I have a couple of their medium-sized one. Really like these guys when you're working on a project. You can put things, in here and put this on any kind of surface. It's not going to slip around. It's not going to mar the surface or anything like that. So again, kind of a spot for a little bit of everything. So the US General ones, they're blue. Obviously, I prefer green, but hey, if a tool does its job, the color doesn't really matter. But if I can get it in green, I'm always gonna try to. So I was browsing Amazon a little while ago, and this came up on my kind of recommend because of my other DuraTech purchases. I saw it. I mean, this thing is it's a massive silicone tray. It's about around 20 by 10 and 3/8, and I was like, man, this is really cool. I could definitely see myself using this. And the cool thing about it is actually came with, this kind of medium-sized tray, which is, similar in size to the US General one, and, a small tray as well. And they're kind of nesting like this, which is cool. You can put them in either position. The small one has spots for bits on there, and a few compartments for parts. This one has, you can either put sockets in here or whatever little parts that you're working on. And then the big one, obviously, if you're working on something big, you don't want, fluids to get everywhere, what have you. It's a great little product. But when I got it in the mail, one of the things that really bothered me, which is a very easy fix from DuraTech, is for some reason this thing was folded in half, and you can see probably right here and right here, where it was basically folded, like this, to where it had a permanent crease. Now I've had this sitting out for maybe a week or two. I don't remember exactly when I bought this thing, but I was hoping, okay, well, maybe it'll go back into its normal shape. But I went into the comments, and a few other people said the same exact thing. So for this, it's around $32 right now on sale, where I think something like this is around, I want to say like 15 bucks or so from Harbor Freight, and you can usually get it on sale for a little bit cheaper. If they had just shipped it in a flat box, flat thin box where this didn't happen, I would probably be recommending this thing all day long. And if stuff like that doesn't bother you, then I would go ahead and purchase this, because it's actually very useful for what it is. Again, you could be working on a project, kind of break it out into multiple parts. Maybe put the big part in here while you have these on the sides, and you can kind of keep track of everything. The quality of it, the actual silicone, is very nice. Very similar to the one from US General, but actually might even be a hair thicker. But the one from US General actually keeps its shape. And the US General version that's around this size doesn't have the nesting guys, but you could probably buy this, the medium and the small, and maybe fit it in there. But it's highly recommended over the DuraTech, especially if you don't care about the color. It just works much better for me. But again, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I being kind of petty by saying, hey, I don't want this product because it has these creases in there? Or am I justified in, hey, I spent good money on this, expecting a product that looks like the picture? Because in all the pictures, there is no crease if you look at it on Amazon. So, I'm a bit torn on this one, because, like I said, is it a tool is a tool that's supposed to do its job. Will this do its job? Definitely, it will do its job. But will something like this constantly bother me? This plus these things got kind of deformed. As you can see, they're no longer circles. when they folded that in there. So again, DuraTech, if you're watching, just change this up a little bit. The product itself is great, just your packaging just needs to change. And I can't see a big difference. I could be wrong, and maybe let me know in the comments if you guys know a lot about shipping boxes and pricing and stuff like that. But having a box that's twice as tall and half the size this way seems like it would be the same exact thing as having one that's longer and skinnier. So please leave your comments below on what you think about this. And again, if you think I'm just being silly or petty by not necessarily recommending this because of these items right here. And if you've gotten one of these that wasn't folded, I'd also like to know about that as well. But the box on it did say DuraTech, so I know it wasn't Amazon that folded it. It was directly from the DuraTech factory that it was folded. So again, with that, any comments or things like that, please leave that down below. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe.